What up, people? Welcome to another episode of Just My Opinion podcast. Yes, this is pre-recorded once again, my friend. No live stream. Sorry about that, but you can still interact in the comment section. First of all, I kept trying to tell people this. And people have hard heads out here in these YouTube streets. People are making content, they're exaggerating, they're gravitating to all these fictional articles and these rumors about Kevin Durant going here, Kevin Durant going there, Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant going to the Philadelphia 76ers, Kevin Durant possibly going to the New Orleans Pelicans, Kevin Durant. Kevin is a lot of things. He do rant. But the constant factor and the consistent factor that I've been saying on this platform, as well as numerous live streams across these YouTube streets and these social media streets, is at the end of the day, Kevin Durant is going to return to the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, I regurgitated a lot of these articles out there and a lot of these rumor mills suggesting Kevin Durant's going to go here, Kevin Durant going there, and I talked ad nauseum about these stories, but I always gravitated to, at the end of the day, Kevin Durant is going to remain with the Brooklyn Nets. And my reasoning behind Kevin Durant staying with the Brooklyn Nets is, one, I didn't see a scenario, no matter what type of package they put up. The Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia 76ers, the New York Knicks, any team out east that was interested in Kevin Durant, or the rumor mills just spewing these fictional rumors about Kevin Durant's going to go here, Kevin Durant going there. Let's just look on the East. I just didn't see Kevin Durant joining another Eastern Conference team for the Brooklyn Nets to see Kevin Durant on a night-in basis constantly. So I didn't even see Kevin Durant, if he was going to get traded, I didn't even see a scenario where Kevin Durant was going to go to this team out East. So, Sean Marks, Steve Nash, Tsai, the ownership, to see Kevin Durant 3 to 4 nights a year, I just didn't see that happening. Kevin Durant going out west, I didn't even see Kevin Durant going out west, because look at the teams that were interested in Kevin Durant, shall we? The New Orleans Pelicans will have to literally give up everything to get Kevin Durant. And then the question remains, why would Kevin Durant want to go to New Orleans if New Orleans has to give up everything? That's not going to be a fully stacked, fully loaded, fully talented team. If you believe the rumors about Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns, in order for that to work, they can't trade Aiden until later on in the season. And you're going to have to give up Booker or Chris Paul, as well as a slew of draft picks, as well as some players. And you're going to trade Kevin Durant and give up all that, and then Kevin Durant's going to be in a worse situation than he was with the Seattle Supersonics. Why would Kevin Durant want to entertain going there? And why would the Phoenix Suns give up and unload all their talent and draft picks just to get Kevin Durant to join the emotional roller coaster of Kevin Durant? He's up one moment, he's down the next moment. All right. I didn't see any of these proposals happening either out east and out west, because of the simple fact that Kevin Durant wasn't going anywhere. The ownership was asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars, which they should, because they signed Kevin Durant to a 4-year extension. Kevin Durant hasn't even started that 4-year contract. And to make matters even worse, they fork over a portion of that money and put it in Kevin Durant's bank account. 2 weeks later, Kevin Durant is wanting a trade. That does not make basketball sense. It is a bad look for the NBA. And I really do feel like the commissioner would have said something if they would have just placate to Kevin Durant and send Kevin Durant wherever he wanted to go. I kept telling you guys, no one wanted to believe me. Kevin Durant wasn't going nowhere. Kyrie Irving, a lot of people saying, oh, well, it's a foregone conclusion. If they trade Kevin Durant, they're going to end up trading Kyrie Irving. Why would Kyrie Irving, the only opportunity Kyrie Irving got in order to get a max contract is with the Brooklyn Nets? He's going to have to be on his best behavior for him to get a max contract with the Brooklyn Nets. And I just don't see Brooklyn giving him a max contract. Kyrie Irving is probably going to get close to max, but not fully maxed when this season is over. And that's if he's on his best behavior. He's not missing games. He's not being Kyrie Irving. He's going to have to be on his A1 behavior. Because right now, a lot of executives look at Kyrie Irving as Antonio Brown. Fully talented, but also emotional. Then we come to Ben Simmons. Do people realize that it's getting close to training camp and Ben Simmons still hasn't made an appearance for the Brooklyn Nets? It's been almost 2 years and there's no sighting of Ben Simmons. Now, to be fair to Ben Simmons, he's nursing a back injury. And when you're doing surgery with your back, it's kind of tricky. Trust me. It's not a 100% or a 90% success rate for people that have back surgery. Sometimes it helps a little. Sometimes it doesn't help at all. All right. And we still don't even know his mental standpoint. Is he mentally prepared for this up and coming season? So you don't know. No one have seen Ben Simmons in practice. No one haven't seen video or footage of Ben Simmons practicing. Seen Ben Simmons demonstrate a shoe. Seen Ben Simmons in a lot of fashion outfits. I've seen Ben Simmons in a $100,000 car, but I haven't seen Ben Simmons on a professional basketball court. So let's just get into the article, shall we? The article says that Kevin Durant, representatives for Kevin Durant, ownership for the Brooklyn Nets, Sean Marks, Steve Nash have all agreed to move forward as far as Kevin Durant staying with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, if you read this article, you're going to think that they all came to this conclusion, but in actuality, Kevin Durant came to this conclusion because Tsai, Sean Marks, they're not going to unload you to get a bunch of spare parts. They have been firmly committed in keeping you in Brooklyn. It wouldn't be a good look for a player to be traded for a bunch of spare parts, and he hasn't even finish 1 year of a 4-year extension. It will send a bad message to the NBA. It will tell a lot of players out there that you don't even have to honor your contract. If you don't like your contract, then you can just pout and whine and threaten to sit out unless they trade you. And they end up, trading you for a bunch of spare parts. Now, all of these content providers on YouTube, all of these analysts on Fox, ESPN, CNN, wherever you get your sports media indulgement from, all have been on one side of the seesaw saying, Brooklyn has no choice but to trade Kevin Durant. and get whatever they can get for him. Shannon Sharpe, day after day, week after week, saying they have no choice but to give in to Kevin Durant, trade him for a bunch of spare parts, and while you at it, you might as well send Kyrie Irving to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I kept telling people, I do not see that happening because Kevin Durant does not hold all the cards. He doesn't. Kevin Durant does not hold any cards. He doesn't. Now somebody's going to sit up here and they're going to tell you this, that, and the third. And they're going to tell you, oh, well, Kevin Durant, they have no choice. They have to respect Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has all the leverage. Kevin Durant this, Kevin Durant that. Kevin Durant holds no leverage to the Brooklyn Nets. He hasn't even honored 1 year of that 4-year extension. He lost a lot of leverage and reputation that he's been trying to incorporate for the past couple of years. To be truthfully honest, Kevin Durant should have stayed with the Golden State Warriors, but he decided that he wanted to do his own thing. He wanted his own team. He wanted to do it his way and his way only. DeAndre Jordan wouldn't even gotten the money that he gotten from the Brooklyn Nets if it wasn't for Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving would not be with the Brooklyn Nets if it wasn't for Kevin Durant. This organization has given Kevin Durant everything. At one point in time, given Kevin Durant total control. And you know what they got for all of that? One playoff series win, and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving hasn't even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, won the Eastern Conference Finals. Hasn't even made it to the NBA Finals. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving couldn't even make it to the finals. Do anyone remember what they gave up to get James Harden? They let go of a coach that had the elements of winning basketball with a bunch of guys, no star players. Brooklyn got into the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. They also signed Kyrie Irving because that was Kevin Durant's friend, his confidant, and I remember Kyrie Irving saying, we're too top heavy. These guys, we're not going to make it anywhere with these guys and this coach. They got rid of the coach. They traded all of those players plus draft picks for James Harden. And James Harden was basically a rental for the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets gave up everything, their future, their talent for one James Harden, and then James Harden pouted and he got himself up out of Dodge and into the Philadelphia 76ers. In return, they got Ben Simmons, they got Seth Curry, they got I forgot his name, the center. Can't think of him right now. Does it even really matter? But Kevin Durant, they did everything and under the stars, sun, moon, and stars for Kevin Durant, and they haven't even won a Eastern Conference Finals with Kevin Durant. They haven't even made it to the NBA Finals with Kevin Durant. A lot of people want to placate to, well, the vaccine, it was COVID, and that was making excuses for them when other teams were winning and other teams were advancing deep into the playoffs. For a team that was supposed to be heavily loaded, heavily talented, got the best player on the planet, These guys didn't even win an Eastern Conference finals, much less the NBA finals. It's kind of pathetic. Kevin Durant got swept fast by the Boston Celtics this year with Kyrie Irving. And now Sean Marks, Tsai over there, they're saying, you know what? We've done it. We done it the way you guys wanted to do. We're not getting the results. So you know what? We're not going to guarantee Kyrie Irving a max contract. Kyrie Irving, if he wants a max contract, someone else is going to have to give it to him. When free agency started, there were no takers for Kyrie Irving. As desperate as the Los Angeles Lakers are, they only had $6 million to give to Kyrie Irving for 1 year. So wait a minute. Kyrie Irving is going to opt out of a final year with the Brooklyn Nets, earning $30+ million. He's going to opt out of that to hop in a 1 year to become a free agent and go to the Lakers for $6 million. That is hustling backwards. Kyrie Irving opted in. The Brooklyn Nets organization was kind of astonished. They was kind of surprised he would opt in, particularly when Kyrie Irving didn't say a lot of nice things to the organization. Sorry about this, but I'm doing this podcast. On my porch. Here's some noise in the background. I do apologize. So Kevin Durant said, you know what? I'm not getting what I want. You know what? I'm just going to pull the offer out requesting a trade. I played my hand, but Sean Marks and the ownership of the Brooklyn Nets had a better hand. And that's why you see what I labeled Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, the last dance. This has all the resemblance of that Chicago team that beat the Utah Jazz. The ownership and the front office of the Chicago Bulls said, win, lose, or draw, Phil Jackson is not returning. Michael Jordan said, win, lose, or draw, if Phil Jackson ain't going to be here, then I'm not going to be here. They broke up that Chicago Bulls team that could have won a couple of more titles, but ego got involved with the front office, with Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and even Dennis Rodman to a certain extent. They won the title, and that team got broken up. The front office of the Chicago Bulls believed in rebuilding and starting with the youth, starting with the baby Bulls. Anyone remember those baby Bulls? How many titles they won with that young team? That's neither here nor there. But this Brooklyn Nets team reminds me of that Chicago Bulls team that won it all and they broke it up. Win, lose, or draw, they say they're going to break it up. When this season starts and when this season is over, win, lose, or draw, the Brooklyn Nets that you see right now is going to be making some changes in the offseason. Kyrie Irving is going to move on. Kevin Durant is going to revisit being traded. If they win, that means the Brooklyn Nets are going to get everything what they want when they trade Kevin Durant. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, if Ben Simmons does not show up this training camp preseason or the regular season, and if he's not a contributing factor to them being successful this year, would not surprise me one iota if the Brooklyn Nets decide to trade Ben Simmons. This team that you're looking at right now will not be the same team at the start of next season. I know for win, lose, or draw. I don't care if they win the title. The Brooklyn Nets are not going to reward Kyrie Irving with a max contract. They've been there and done that. There's history surrounding Kyrie Irving. Go as Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics. Go as the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. When Kyrie Irving gets his money, he rests on his laurels. He start going into star mode. I'm an artiste. And start taking games off. You cannot depend on Kyrie Irving. Win, lose, or draw. If they win the title, if they don't win the title, I do not see the Kyrie Irving in the Brooklyn Nets future. Kevin Durant. If they win the title, that winning solves a lot of things, particularly with what you said this offseason about the front office and Steve Nash, which, by the way, you handpicked Steve Nash. Then you and Kyrie Irving embarrassed him, saying that, well, with how talented this team is, we don't need a coach. We can coach ourselves. But that's neither here nor there. If they win the title, I can see Kevin Durant fulfilling that contract, or at least fulfilling half of that contract. So it's a question mark with Kevin Durant. But do not be surprised if the Brooklyn Nets say, we done had you in this organization, and this is as far as we're ever going to get with you in this organization. And they may trade Kevin Durant. They may not. With Ben Simmons, if he does not show improve, if he's not on the court, it would not shock me one iota if they trade Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is starting to become damaged goods. Ben Simmons is not the same Ben Simmons since the Philadelphia 76ers. This could be the last dance of this team. If I had to put money on it, Kevin Durant will be around. Ben Simmons is a question mark. Kyrie Irving, I do not see. I don't care if he's finals MVP and they won the title and they beat the Golden State's regular season wins. It doesn't matter what this team does. I do not see Kyrie Irving on this team moving forward at the end of this season. He will be on his best behavior, and he's playing for a contract. He's playing for longevity in the NBA, because I think there's going to be a lot of teams out there that will get him close to max contract, that will have the money, and there's teams that are so desperate they're willing to give him a max contract. It will help if the Brooklyn Nets trade him to that team so he can get his max contract money. But I don't see Brooklyn even doing that for Kyrie Irving. This is the last dance. This is the swan song, as we know it, of Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and Kyrie Irving. You will not see this version of this team next summer. Definitely Kyrie Irving's not going to be there. Possibility Ben Simmons, if he does not show up and play games. And they may keep Kevin Durant one more year, but by that time, Kevin Durant is going to be getting closer to being out of his prime, which I've told you guys on numerous live streams and videos. Kevin Durant can play 40 plus, because that talent never erodes. It never eroded. It's not athleticism. It's his pure talent as far as shooting. Kevin Durant can be in this league for a long period of time. Maybe not starting, maybe coming off the bench. But that shooting gene is not going anywhere. It's not getting any older. But that's why I labeled this The Last Dance. Because I do not believe that this team that you're looking at right now is going to be representing the Brooklyn Nets next summer. Doesn't matter if they win the title or if they don't win the title. There's going to be some major changes with this team. Congratulations to the ownership of the Brooklyn Nets. Congratulations to Sean Marks. Congratulations to Steve Nash. They won real big with this latest news. They didn't believe the hype. You gotta trade KD. You gotta trade KD. You got no choice. You have no leverage. You gotta trade KD. KD's going here. KD's going there. And KD said, you know what? I'm just going to resend it and we're just going to pretend like this never happened. Boy, it is going to get spicy this training camp. If I was Kevin Durant, I will address this and attack this quickly before it progresses into the regular season. Answer as many questions as you can. Try not to get triggered by any other questions, but this can blow over with some very impressive wins in preseason as well as training camp. This can literally blow over before the regular season starts. But it's up to Kevin Durant how he's going to react to these questions. Guys, that's all I got for Just My Opinion podcast. I hope you guys like it. Yes, this was pre-recorded. No live this week. Maybe we'll crank it back up next week live. I don't know. It's your boy. Please support the channel by hitting the like button, commenting in the comment section, share this content with your friends, family, and followers. If you want to become a member, you can do that as well. I'm up out of here. See y'all next week.